The countdown has begun. Our 3 years in Thailand are ending. Everything we own has been packed away in boxes, and in a couple of weeks, we leave. But a couple of weeks is plenty of time for one last road trip, so we're off to explore Isan, Thailand's most underappreciated region. We began in Phetchabun, exploring some of Thailand's most impressive ancient ruins, only recently uncovered. Further north, we climb the mountains of Phu Soi Dao and camp in pine meadows studded with crested Naga wildflowers. We finally enter Isan proper with a visit to Chattrakan, exploring the night markets and otherwise enjoying this stylish little town on the banks of the Mekong. Buang Khan and the cliffside temple of Wat Phu Tok was a personal favorite, but also terrifying. After that, Kenare Waterfall in the same province was the perfect place to let the adrenaline drain away. We then continued south along the Mekong, truly one of the world's great rivers, on our way to Ubon Ratchathani, where we learned from local masters how to shape beeswax into extraordinarily intricate sculptures. After a swim in the Huai Luang waterfall, we at last turned back towards Bangkok and home. As we crossed the Korat Plateau, we visited underappreciated gems like Prasat Sakorapum, along with very much appreciated sites like Phnom Rung, which receives all the recognition this extraordinary temple complex deserves. Some Thai-style camping in the Kaew foothills, which included a surprise encounter with a venomous snake. And it was time to return to Bangkok for our last few days.
That was only a tiny bit of what we saw on our 3,000-kilometer journey. We'll show you all the coolest things in the coming episodes. Today, we start in Phetchabun.
So the easiest thing to do after pack-out would have been to stick around Bangkok and wait out our last few weeks in Thailand. But we still had our car, so the move was obvious. We got on the road. Our destination was Si Thep Historical Park in southern Phetchabun province. But it's nearly a 4-hour trip from Bangkok, so we made sure to break up the drive with a good lunch.
This is, I guess, some shrimp and some kind of spicy sauce. It's really good. It's got, you can see, like, toasted garlic and lemongrass and chilies and red onion, some coriander. I don't know, but it's really delicious.
It is really good. I don't know what it is either. It's very spicy though. Very good. What are you eating?
Fish.
Are you eating the bones?
I think, because you said that if you fry it, all the bones break up into small pieces and they're not super bad.
I'm not sure that's exactly what I said, but
What did you say then?
I think some of these fish have such small bones that when they're fried, they're very brittle, and you can just gobble them up.
And after we had gobbled them up, it was only another hour on the road before we arrived at Si Thep Historical Park. The site has been inhabited since prehistoric times, and for more than 1,500 years, Si Thep was a major city. A major city that was mysteriously abandoned around 700 years ago and left to the jungle until archaeologists rediscovered it in the early 20th century. The nearest city is miles and miles away, which might explain why we had the entire site almost entirely to ourselves for the whole afternoon. One of the more surprising encounters was this open grave.
We saw a skeleton of a person and an elephant and a dog.
There were no signs explaining any of this, but we looked it up later and learned that this is the excavation of a prehistoric burial site of a woman nearly 6 feet tall. Not much of it has survived, but I love these Angkor-era carvings. For me, though, maybe the most interesting part of the whole historical park was Khao Kho. It's not much more than a mountain of stones now, but its sheer size is just awe-inspiring. We'll use Charlie here for scale. It's a lot of Charlies.
I wanted Dad to take a photo.
Outside Si Thep Historical Park is the even more impressive monument of Khao Khlang Nok. Until 20 years ago, all but the very top of this colossal stupa was buried beneath a hill. That mountain of dirt preserved every detail of the construction. If you look at it, the corners and the edges are still as sharp and as true as the day they were carved. Thailand's step pyramid is in remarkably good shape and is definitely worth walking around once or twice. Because the kids were carefully transporting bugs around on a stick, we only managed to get around it once. Your mileage may vary. We spent the night a half an hour further north in Wichianburi. These little cottages set among the rice fields were about $20 a night. Thailand gets very affordable the further you go off the beaten path. Hello. It's also just a total playground for the kids, and a really nice way to unwind after dragging them all around these archaeological sites. A bit of grass to play in is always good.
Yeah?
No, one book was on my arm.
Oh no.
And then it flew onto my nose.
Oh dear. Did you get it off?
Yeah.
Good.
We drove a couple of hours north to the city of Phetchabun, where we had plans to visit the Provincial Museum.
It shows you how big people are today.
Phetchabun Intrachai Archaeology Hall is a really charming museum which uses all kinds of different media to tell the story of this province. The children found some of the exhibits a little bit frightening, though. I can't imagine why. My favorite exhibit was a hall of local legends. Really fun and slightly bizarre stories that are longer than we have time for here, but we share some of them on the website. Link below in the description. Puppet horror always builds up an appetite, so we stopped at a roadside stand selling Phetchabun's most famous recipe, Wichianburi chicken. This is marinated chicken, roasted over an open flame, and served with a tamarind-based dipping sauce.
I like this leg.
You want that leg? Looks good, huh?
The butterfly! Butterfly! Can someone take off?
This is the first of a few roast chicken stops we made on this trip. If you can see meat cooking over the fire, you can be sure you're in for a treat.
What happened? I have to say, this is the best meal I've had on this whole trip.
It was also only the third meal she'd had on this trip, but with the benefit of hindsight, I think she still might have been right. After lunch, we began the steep climb into the Khao Kho mountains. I'd never heard of this area before, but it's very popular with local tourists, and like Khao Yai, it has all kinds of completely crazy roadside attractions. We found one we just couldn't pass up. You come for the dinosaurs, and you get Egypt for free. Amazing Dinosaur was the crossover event you never knew you needed. The concept seems to be build something amazing and then add dinosaurs. King Kong?
Dinosaur!
Angkor Wat?
Dinosaur!
Japanese Sakura?
Dinosaur!
Or Easter Island?
Dinosaur!
Also because why not? A Hall of Mirrors.
This is what it feels like to have children?
This is what it feels like to have you children.
I want to wait out! Ow! Whatever way I find to get out, I'm going.
Leaving behind Amazing Dinosaur, which the kids said was the best museum they'd ever been to, we drove to the temple complex of Wat Pratat Pa Son Kaew, perched high on a ridge in the Khao Kho mountains. The mosaic Lotus Pagoda and the surrounding temple grounds feel very much like something Catalan architect Antoni Gaudí would have designed. The whole thing is a bit of a jewel box, which of course the kids just totally adored. But the most extraordinary feature of Wat Pa Sawn Kaew are its 5 celestial Buddhas. Gleaming white even on a cloudy day. They sit in sequence from largest to smallest, representing the past, present, and future Buddhas of the era. Like many of Thailand's most extraordinary temples, this is a new construction and still very much a living place of worship. Visitors are invited to climb up the Wat and enter the ornate chambers at the base of the sculpture. When we re-emerged from the Wat, the sun had begun to break through the clouds, and we saw for a moment the wonderful contrast between the Buddhas and the grey mist behind. It really is a stunning creation, and we were delighted to have had the opportunity to visit.
Just outside the temple grounds, we found some local spirits to sample. Actually okay, not too bad. Oh, this is definitely stronger. I think I like the Lao Khao Kho ka.
I said, are you putting on the accelerator?
My whole life is on the exhilarator. Good morning, babies.
Good morning.
We woke to find the world around us covered in mist. While we waited for it to clear, the kids took some time to write in their journals. This is an important part of the homeschooling curriculum we're developing for the big trip. And also, like these movies, it's kind of just a great way to keep hold of all these memories. It was over 3 hours from Khao Kho to Phu Soi Dao. It's longer than we like to drive in a single leg, so a couple of hours in, we made a quick stop at Chattrakan Waterfall, where we met some surprising wildlife. Chattrakan is one of those lovely single-attraction Thai national parks, in this case, the Chattrakan Waterfall. At the height of the monsoon, the flooding river splits into 2 separate cascades. In July, we saw only just the one. But it's still a worthwhile stop. The cliffs above the waterfall are covered in what we later learned were the enormous open comb hives of the giant Asian honeybee. This time of year, they're mostly abandoned, but we saw at least one still very much occupied. These bees can be very aggressive, protecting what we heard is delicious, delicious honey. We left them alone. Another hour's drive and we arrived at Phu Soi Dao campground, where we'd booked one of the cozy national park bungalows. In the morning, as long as the weather held up, we would climb Phu Soi Dao.
I'm gonna go on a hike.
Coming up next, we go for a walk and a camp at Phu Soi Dao's stunning pine meadows. It's a tough little climb. Our kids were the youngest hikers by at least a decade. But it's an absolutely lovely place to visit. Surely one of the most peaceful corners in all of Thailand. If you haven't already, please subscribe to come along. It really means a lot to us. Thanks for watching. See you next time.